From the very beginning of almost any of the investigations into Donald Trump, both Trump himself and his allies have said that all of this is political. All of this is needless. It's not based on anything. It is just an attempt to get him. They are applying a different standard to him than to others. And it turns out there is actually something to that. But the standard they're applying to him is not the one that they say that they are. There's this new reporting coming out of top Justice Department and FBI officials and the initial conversations about what to do over the insurrection of January 6th. And it turns out they were applying a very different standard to Donald Trump in that they were incredibly hesitant to even look into whether he might be guilty of some sort of crime. They were willing to look at many people, but not him. The double standard was that they gave him extra protection from investigation. They did not leap on this, as many conservatives would say, desperate to find something to get Trump so that he couldn't run against Biden. No, they were so hands-off that others in the DOJ and the FBI were incredibly frustrated about it. We're gonna give you more of the details. So this is according to CNN. The FBI, mindful of not wanting to appear partisan, had for months held off on launching a formal investigation into former President Trump's role in efforts to subvert the 2020 election. That is totally plausible. They are constantly terrified of appearing to be partisan, not seeming to understand that if they literally just abolished the FBI, that would be pitched as partisan and anti-Trump. There is nothing you can do that is gonna take away those accusations, and yet they constantly try. Following his March 2021 confirmation, Attorney General Garland, along with Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco and FBI Director Christopher Wray, doubled down on a bottom-up approach that focused first on prosecuting rioters. Garland's early attempts at avoiding accusations of a politically motivated probe worried some inside the department, who told the Post that it slowed down investigative efforts. Because of course it did, and arguably that's what the point of it was. But look at that bottom up approach designed to shield Donald Trump and to shield them from accusations of partisanship was a double standard. He motivated it, he was protected from the consequences of it. And even though they did all of this from the very beginning, they were attacked as still being partisan. Francesca, what do you think?
I mean, this is so on brand FBI. This is so on brand. I don't even want to call it the deep state because they're not deserving of such a cool sounding title. No, these are careerist, centrist bureaucrats who, in the wake of one of the greatest attacks on our democratic process from the inside, potentially stoked by an outgoing president, they were like, is it too partisan if we investigate your right-wing coup? I don't know, like that. I mean, look, I believe in defund and remake the police in every level. And I seriously say defund and remake the FBI, okay? Not MTG's way, not in the right's way, but truly, if we're gonna have cowards like this inside the FBI, then who's actually protecting us? Who's actually looking out for our national interests, right? Because this is so clear that this is gonna be the death of us, man. This is gonna be, if we lose again to a Donald Trump, I mean, then yeah, there's gonna be no FBI ever. Oh no, sorry, there will be. It'll be the personal brown shirts of that actual fascist, the Stephen Miller, the Ron DeSantis, the Tucker Carlson who comes to power. That's what's going to happen. And these bureaucrats who are too scared and shaking in their boots will be razed to the ground in a moment's notice. I'm just, it's so infuriating. And final point, this is why the Mueller investigation was BS to begin with. Oh yeah, the libs love Mueller. Oh yeah, Mueller's gonna save us. Mueller's a career FBI man. You think he is not going, he found all the evidence and was like, but a president can't be accused of a crime. Give me a break.
Yeah, 100%. Like, how much extra protection does he have at every level? Like not having to provide his tax information year after year after year. Everyone else has always done that. He doesn't have to do it. He's protected for, like, constantly. They're terrified of doing anything that can be portrayed as partisan, and no matter what they do, they're going to be called it anyway. And the end result of all that is that things have been delayed, by the way. there likely will be some sort of charges thanks to Jack Smith, the special counsel, over January 6th, but they will be coming way later than they otherwise would have. And that actually matters, because if those are federal charges, then that's another thing that you can just put on the silver platter that can be handed over to Donald Trump upon inauguration. And he can just get rid of them. And I will say, while there's still a lot of campaign to go, and God only knows what months of new charges and trial updates and all that might do. I was looking at the most recent round of 3 or 4 polls or whatever, and Trump was up by like 6. We live in a sick country, remember. The more crimes he is credibly charged with, the more Republicans love him. Even though like there's some polling showing that he's lost a little bit of approval amongst Republicans, he's doing just fine amongst them. Yeah. So like, and again, he's going like, they can now say, you're doing these charges against the guy who's running for president. They decided to wait, not just on January 6th, but on the documents as well. They could have made those charges earlier. They could have set up the special counsel earlier, before he was running. They decided to wait, and that allowed them to be pitched as partisan more so.